up to score. But Peterson possibly will get the nod from the judges. Back home I would be confident that Cam was 1 point up for the amount of punches, although they haven't been top quality stuff. If you're looking at quality, Peterson might be the man.
Well, 1 round to go on Jim's card. Lamont Peterson here is a round behind. But a lot of these rounds are open to interpretation, and if you go for pressure, you favour Peterson. Khan may have it all to do in this last round, with 2 judges from the United States and 1 from Puerto Rico. And whatever happens now, what an unbelievable battle this has been.
There's not much in this fight. You could have it around either way.
Can one of these 2 terrific warriors find something special in this last round to render those judges' scorecards unnecessary?
I think Khan has to stand his ground here, stop running and try to hunt this fellow, stop his march forward in the last round, just to impress the judges.
And take the wind out of the sails of Peterson. Fight fire with fire.
Well, you know what Peterson's going to do. And Khan looking for the response. Has Khan found a second wind?
He needs to subdue Peterson. He needs to subdue him, stop him advancing, stop him looking like he's the boss in there.
That's impossible tonight, Matthew. Peterson is boxing on a whole new level. And even if he doesn't get this decision, boy oh boy, is he the real thing. Terrific right uppercut from Khan, and a point, a timeout.
Hold on, is this another point?
And it is. How big could this be?
That could cost him the fight.
And how big is Joe Cooper, who's not a very experienced referee at this level? How significant is that going to be?
Well, I now have the fight level. Khan needs a huge last couple of minutes here.
Oh,
He's not having it.
Good shot again from Peterson as Khan now has to step on the gas after being deducted a second point by Joe Cooper from Washington.
And then you can't blame the referee because Khan has been warned so often and he's committed so many fouls tonight in his efforts to be the one who's spoiled. I think he's just maybe throwing his titles away here.
All bets are off now as we get down to the last minute. It is standing room only around this auditorium. Everybody on their feet. They sense that something special might be happening in Washington, D.C. tonight for one of their own. 1 minute to go. Peterson continuing to force and push and pressurize. Khan continuing to look at the referee.
And Khan is not going to win this round. You don't have a point deducted and the judges give you the round. I think he's thrown his titles away with persistent fouling. He needs to score a knockdown here. And he's running out of time.
Just saw David Hayes sitting there in the yellow t-shirt at ringside, impassive. Concerned. Peterson continuing to pour it on. Good right hand from Khan. Last 25 seconds or so. What a scrap, what a battle. 2 terrific warriors. But what controversy as well, Khan absolutely exhausted. Goodness knows how Peterson is still going. Last 10 seconds. Is Amir Khan about to lose his titles in what would be a dramatic upset in Washington, D.C.? What a battle. You have to hand it to both these fellas. An unbelievable performance. But I don't think there's anybody in this arena that can predict with any confidence which way this is going to go. Do either of you 2 fellas want to stick your necks out?
I think the points deductions of Rob Khan, I mean, and he can't complain about it because he was warned several times. He was grabbing hold of Peterson every time he came close. All of the spoiling that was done in those 12 rounds was done by Amir Khan. He come back with good work, but there was a lot of rounds where he was running and throwing little popping punches where this fella here really looked the boss, digging in the body shots. It was close. I had Khan 1 point up going into the last round, but I think he's thrown it away with that points deduction. It's got to be close, but we have to remember we're boxing away from home here, and the aggressor 90% of the time tonight was Lamont Peterson.
I thought Khan started excellently, and then Peterson took over. He looked like the boss. Khan was probably out pointing him, out scoring him in some of the rounds, but Peterson looked the boss. He was dictating. He was dictating the terms. He was pushing forward, and it was the big shot, body shots on the ropes. He looked very good, and you know, you were just worried that maybe he's going to go against Khan here because of that.
And Peterson showing a level of hunger, Jim, that you rarely see at this level.
Yeah, and there was a lot of rounds that you thought Khan was doing well, but then he was trapped in corners, and you could see he was being bullied by Peterson. He was holding his head near, taking big punches, just giving the initiative to Peterson. This is close. Would love to think that Amir has hung on to his titles. I hope the judges were overly impressed with the aggression of Peterson. Punches landed, Khan can still go home with these titles, but it's in the balance.
It really is. HBO have Khan 1 point up for whatever that's worth. It is so close. A fantastic effort from Peterson. Has Khan done enough? And don't forget, there was that knockdown in the first round that counterbalances to an extent those 2 points off. But there's no great confidence in either camp, really, is there? Fabulous performance from both men. An awful lot of respect between the camps.
Some of Khan's boxing looked a bit negative, Matthew. You know, was he outboxing or was he running? You know, there's a fine line, and sometimes he crossed that line, and it just looked as though he was just trying to get to the bell, you know, any way he could. And rounds like that, you know, do you score to the man who's running? That's what keeps this one so close.
Khan boxed beautiful in patches, but like I say, in other areas of the fight, he was being bullied around the ring. We'll see soon enough now. Very close fight, great fight. Both guys hurt each other. Hopefully the points deductions isn't the sway of the fight.
Well, I think we're very close to an announcement. David Hayes in the ring, Bernard Hopkins you saw in the ring in there as well. He boxed on the undercard in Washington, D.C. 18 years ago. And Riddick Bowe took out Jesse Ferguson the last big night of boxing in D.C. I tell you, we won't be waiting 18 years to come back to this place after a performance like that and after a turnout like this as well. Oh, awful moments for both of them. Is this the culmination of a dream for Lamont Peterson? Has Amir Khan gone away with it by the skin of his teeth? We just don't know, but we're going to find out soon.
Well, quite often in Vegas, you know, the favoured fighter from the favoured camp gets the nod, but we're not in Vegas now. That was a really close fight, which could go either way. You could not argue whoever gets this. So, really in the balance.
Oh, the look on Khan's face says he's hoping for the best. He doesn't know. But then again, they don't know in the Peterson camp either. Has he done enough? Has he recovered to take these titles after looking like he was going to be blown away in that opening round? And Khan had him all over the place. But boy, did he find something special, as we knew he would.
Seen it over the years, fighters with a good jab and good timing especially. Bernard Forrest, Shane Mosley, Marquez and Pacquiao. He can give the fast fighters problems.
Well, that was something Lamont Peterson was saying in the build-up to this fight. He said, yeah, I know about Khan's speed, but I've got timing. And as you say, Matthew, timing will cancel out speed. It didn't always.
The technique as well, he knew how to get close, he knew how to work the body, the uppercuts were working for him. Just there's so many rounds when he looked the boss, and his work up close was more impressive. Good responses, the little popping arm punches we saw a lot of the time for Khan, which could also sway things against you. Love to think he's moving on to be the superstar we expect him to be, but we're going to find out now.
We're seeing Khan celebrating on the big screens here. That's what the boos are for.
Yeah, Reza whispered something to him. I'm just wondering, did he get, has he got wind of what the score is?
Oh, this is a long, long wait. 5 minutes since that final bell went. And they're starting to look a bit anxious now in the Peterson corner.
Yeah, well, there seems to be a rumour floating around, and it's not one that Peterson wants to hear.
And Barry Hunter just in front of us, Peterson's coach, was just gesticulating at somebody, jabbing a finger. Not looking happy. Khan might just get out of this.
We go to the scorecards. George Hill scores about 113, 112. Peterson. Nelson Vasquez scores at 114, 111. Khan. Valerie Dorset scores at 113, 112 to the winner by majority decision. And new.
He's done it.
He's turned it
battles, but you cannot. I'm disappointed for Amir Khan. Obviously, we wanted him to win, but I cannot feel disappointed for Lamont Peterson. The life he's had and what he laid on the line tonight.
He really did. He really did. That rumour that swept round the ring was a false one. The points deduction, as you say, Jim, have cost him dear. But you can't feel back for Lamont Peterson. I mean, what a performance from him tonight.
Yeah, you're right on both counts there, Nick. I think definitely the points deduction, particularly